Well, hello everyone. As you can tell, I am not John. John, unfortunately, is waylaid by the people moving him out of his house so that he can move on to whatever greener pastures he's going to. And he had tried really hard to get here for the call, and the movers are just being very slow, and he's sad that he's not here. The good part is, oh, I'm April. I'm John's assistant. But the good part is we have Cathleena Hailley here today. And this is going to be a really wonderful call. If you haven't been on with Cathleena before, she's there's not really a good individual word to describe you, is there?
um,
She
Frequency
works,
alchemist.
she's an alchemist. She works with the Divine Feminine, with the Council of Nine Collective. She is very involved in creating 5D community. We were talking about that before the call started. And she's coming here to talk to us today about moving through the time matrix at 0 point. And Cathleena, can you talk to me about 0 point?
Sure. So the 0 point is the place of no thing and all possibilities. It's the authentic present moment awareness, and so it's the place where we are our full multidimensional self, and so it's the present moment in your heart, not in your head. That's basically what 0 point is.
So, how do we get there? How does that happen to us?
Well, it's ironic because, we are there in terms of energy, but the idea of in your human suit, getting to the 0 point is when we are, aware of our present moment, being, your feet on the floor, you're looking out your eyes, you are where you are, but you literally drop into your heart. And the difference is, if I'm in my mind, then that's what I call like the false neutrality, or sort of the false 0 point, because in that space, you're in the past or the future, which really doesn't exist, because the only real time is the 0 point. So the idea of being there is when you drop out of the thought and into your heart, into the unknown, into the authentic present moment, without anything, basically, with the no thing and the all possibilities.
So, it's not a rehashing of the past, it's not a looking forward with whatever to the future, it's just being
It's being.
here.
It's literally being here. Exactly. It's being here. And it's really, it's our natural. I mean, as a small child, we're able to do this. And then we get kind of knocked out of it for many different reasons, a lot of belief systems that actually knock you out of the 0 point continually.
No, we want to be, no, you can't be there. Yes, you, yeah, I get that. I'm always projecting into the future. Part of it is the nature of my job, of course, but I'm always working in the future. And so the concept of 0 point and having that stillness is really appealing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
So I was just going to say something to that. When you talk about, projecting into the future, what is helpful in that is if we're in the 0 point and actually imagining what will come in that place, you create it. You're actually creating it, and that's also, if we're doing that from my heart versus my mind, that is the creation process. So we can have thoughts and visions and emotion about what we would like to see and create within our reality, and that can have a feeling of being in the future, which is very different than being in, thinking I'm in the now moment, but I'm in my head. Because if I'm in my head and I'm projecting, trying to, think about the future, I'm actually only going to carry my now moment that I'm thinking about that to that future moment. because, that's where we're in essence sitting in terms of our energy, so it's just a little bit different way of kind of feeling the idea of the future, which may be something helpful for you as well.
Oh, yeah. How long does it take you to, well, maybe that's not the right way to put it. Do you find yourself in that 0 point consistently, or do you bounce back and forth out of it?
Mhm. Well, so the way that I chose to incarnate is I carry the 0 point of all frequencies. And for myself, I reside in the 0 point. Do I have my own moments that I pop in and out? Yes, but not as often, because I'm very aware of being in my heart. We're actually looking out of our heart, but we don't really realize that. So we end up projecting ourselves up through what we feel is our eyes and into our head, but we don't. But that's not really where we, as our consciousness, we're really looking out of our heart. Our whole being is out of that. So it's really pretty interesting.
Um, Michelle asks a really good question.
Mhm.
What are the clear signs that someone is maneuvering in ascended energy? Are there clear signs?
What are the clear signs that someone is maneuvering in ascended energy? I'm not exactly sure what that question is. So feeling into that, I feel what's being asked is, how does somebody recognize if they're in higher frequency energy? And if you're operating in a higher frequency energy, the neutrality aspect of your being is easy to come to recognize. That's really kind of the nature of what we're referring to higher frequencies, which is really like love, truth, beauty, goodness. And so if you're vibrating at those, if you're in those, the place of neutrality is pretty easy to connect to. I think that
Um,
kind of answers.
can you feel it in someone else? Do you recognize when someone else is also in that vibration?
Yes. Yeah, because see, all we're doing in human existence is matching frequencies in order to be comfortable. So certainly for me, because I carry the 0 point of all frequencies, I recognize all frequencies. So I can feel the variances in them. And certainly when I'm here, like now, I can feel the variances in the audience. I can feel all the different things that are going on, depending on where anybody is. But I'm also supporting that space. We all recognize those, but we don't know that we do. It's how you have what we think sometimes are preferences of things that we like and don't like, but also how we feel, around other people or in spaces or rooms or things like that. We've all heard kind of the story, and this is really kind of a simplistic aspect of when somebody's had an argument in a room and they've left the room, and you walk in the room later and you're like, ooh, okay, something happened here.
Yeah,
Right?
what is that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we definitely feel the energy. So everybody does have the awareness of feeling the energies for sure.
Do you, can you sense when someone is there and then it's gone out of that 0 point and then comes back? I mean, can you trace other people's energy that way?
Mhm.
Is
Yes.
that something we can aspire to? Is it something we want to?
Well, I mean, again, everything's about the 0 point. I think it's super important to be living in the 0 point as much as possible because, so, you know, in this world that we're living in right now, we're living in an inverted matrix, and this inverted matrix means that everything's backwards basically in human existence. And so, we have, when we come into this world, we come in as, pure source, and we are higher dimensional beings. We're fifth dimensional or higher, and we, engage in a physical body. And the engagement in the physical body is that, we are consciousness. Consciousness is information. That information it's like a library of information. So if you think about like, source itself is information, so it's like a giant library, and I'm a smaller library of source, and so are you, but we're different. And the way that we incarnate is you take this library of information and and you download it into the physical brain. So this is software, you download it into the hardware, and then it communicates to the body and, creates out. And there's an actual creative process that we go through. So when we're small and we first, are in the body, and before we have a lot of information that's coming at us, we are naturally in the 0 point, which is we are naturally our source self as creator. But, as soon as we start taking in information of this matrix that's created here, we start to become whatever that information is. And this is this idea of what's called quantum entanglement. It's where, I forget that I'm source consciousness, that I have the ability to choose whatever it is that I am told, and whatever it is that I think I'm feeling. I have a choice about that. And so we forget that, and then, we end up creating a life based on all these belief systems and all these ideas and limits and limitations that we're told. So we're never truly creating. And so in order to shift that whole thing, we've got to drop into the 0 point and like detach from it. And once we do that, then it's still hanging around. It doesn't necessarily go away. But at that point, we can actually have an authentic experience, because we're not having an authentic experience if we're told what we can and can't do, who we are, those types of things. So being in the 0 point is the key, and we talk about that a lot. So, like this course, and I'll just mention it since I'm talking about that. So the course that I'm offering, and it is a live course, and it's actually starting next week. And then I don't normally offer live courses, but I am doing this next week. And this is called Moving Through the Time Matrix at 0 point. And what this is it's literally like going back in time, so to speak. Time is not linear, it's circular. And so what this process is it's being able to take your soul self, your source self, and engage it in this time matrix, really within your mind, at these ages that you've already either been in or going to come into. And we can do that because we're in the 0 point. So we're in the no thing, and we're engaging your consciousness in basically your past. And why that's important, why that changes, is because we have these memories, we have these situations that we're replaying and we're feeling all the time. And those are there because that's a quantum entanglement aspect. It's a place that we became frozen. We became frozen in our mind in a particular belief system or a particular emotion or something that we're not able to feel. So what happens through this course, and I'm going to take you through different ages, is when we engage our soul self at that same sort of time frame, it's as though suddenly you pull back the lens of the whole scene of whatever it is the memory, and you're pulling it back at a 0 point. So you're pulling it back in a neutral. And so instead of you being the one that's feeling this and being the character in that memory, you become the observer of now the character you in the memory and anything else that's there. And at the 0 point, you're able to start to feel, the truth about the different characters. And we're gonna go into depth of how that's, gonna happen through in activation. So I think it's gonna be pretty cool. And anyway, it's all based in the 0 point because that is the kind of brand new. So.
Well, I'm going to post the link here for anybody who wants to go into it. We'll talk about the package a little bit more, but the thing I liked about it when you sent it over immediately was, obviously the live aspect, but the fact that you go through stages
Mm-hmm.
and examine it through that and help make the changes that way. Um,
If you want to take some questions or something from people.
let's do. Raise. I'm going to start moving people over. So if you've raised your hand, look for the unmute button, and please don't unmute yourself until we call on you, because then it'll just get really crazy.
No, and Norma, there's no issue with doing both courses together, not at all. I was just reading her.
Yeah, it sounds like immersion to me. That's a good thing.
Yeah, well, they're all done in the 0 point, so it's all perfect.
Okay, Linda, why don't you unmute yourself and we'll go from there.
Hi, thank you very much for taking my call.
Sure.
Cathleena,
Hi.
when we, I've been dealing with a sinus infection all day. Is there a way to adjust that so that I'm back at 0 point?
Mm-hmm. Well, I can certainly go in your energy and let's see where it's coming from. I mean, is this
Yeah.
something that you are familiar with? Do you have sinus infections typically, or is this something
No,
that's new?
no,
Uh-huh.
very
And-
unusual.
And you've identified it as an infection, or it's been
Yes,
told to you?
yes.
Okay. All right, well, let's take a look, because I'm feeling really the idea of the congestion here, but it's definitely a frequency. So, and it doesn't feel like it's anywhere else, really in your
No.
body, right? It's literally just kind of right there.
Yeah.
My feeling initially is that it's something in your space that maybe you have brought forward, felt more like dust and something like that. And I'm feeling, it definitely feels like something that has gone in there and feels like it's sort of trapped up in there. I can see energetically, we can get a little bit more movement for you, but it does feel more like, I think if you really blow your nose, like
I
a
have
lot.
been.
Yeah,
I
if
have been.
that's what it really feels like, it's a lot of pressure. It really just feels more, honestly, like right inside. But I'll
Right.
go in your energy to take a look and see if there's anything that's kind of holding it or behind it.
That'd be
But
great. Thank you.
feel pretty clear, sure. All right, so close your eyes and take some deep breaths. I do feel some energy kind of wound up a little bit around your third eye, so I'm going to disconnect that. Just take a deep breath. Just going to pull this out a little bit. Take a big breath. Take another big breath. I'm just going to expand your third eye a little bit. It does feel a little constricted there. And I'm going to open your crown a little bit more because this will help to move the energies. There we go, that's better. Take a deep breath. I'm going to release a little bit more pressure on the right side, kind of the upper cheekbone near the eye. Just imagine little particles floating out like dirt.
Gotcha.
I want to take that out a little bit. A little bit of, it really feels a little bit to the ear too. Take a deep breath. just gonna expand that a bit more. Okay, take a breath. Tell me how you feel.
I felt you releasing it. I could feel it releasing from the right and from the third eye too. So
Beautiful.
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And that's for anybody too who has had any pressure. Yeah, what I was feeling was I didn't see a lot, but I could definitely see behind there. And I think that also may have been originated a little bit from the third eye. So a little bit of the, kind of false light, false sound. But you handled it very well, that it only kept it here. So that's very good.
Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
you're welcome. Beautiful.
Okay, great. Let's add someone else. Donna, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, thank you. um, I am not familiar with the 0 point at all, and in watching what you were doing with helping Linda, I'm totally amazed by it.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I were to take this course, would I feel that it was like over my head, or
No, the zero, just think of the 0 point as the brand new moment without anything around it. That's really what it is. And if we can, bring in joy, excitement, exhilaration, curiosity in that moment, then we build on that. So no, it is our natural, actually.
Okay, all right. Because I thought, well, if I don't know anything about this, I'm going to feel behind, and I'm
Yeah.
kind of I get stressed if I feel behind or feel like I'm not catching on, I guess you could say.
Yeah, no, there's no behind, and no, I can feel your energy. Yeah, I can feel just like a little bit of nervousness, but you've got a really beautiful energy actually, and I'm going to expand it just a little bit for you, so that you'll feel a little bit more of what's taking place today. Okay, so if you
Oh,
want, and this will be good for everybody too. So if you want to close your eyes for a second, and you might want to take your glasses off and just take a couple nice deep breaths.
okay.
I'm just going to bring you, what I'm going to do is just to bring you, and I'll bring everybody, kind of expand it a little bit into the 0 point. So just take some nice deep breaths. Big breaths. There we go. Just keep letting go. It's great. I'm going to let go of all fear, all fight or flight. That's great. Deep breath. I'm going to release any of the self-consciousness feelings, which would be any worthiness. Just going to release any worthiness, any comparison. Take a deep breath. I'm just going to keep expanding. I'm just going to drop you into the 0 point. Take a deep breath. And I'm just going to bring in the frequency of excitement, exhilaration, curiosity. And we'll bring in joy. Joy. I'm just going to open up your root and plug you into Sophia Gaia, our Divine Mother Earth, and your crown into Source. As above is below, as below is above. And I'm going to bring this calibration into the present moment, into your heart. Okay, how are you feeling?
Awesome. Thank you
Beautiful.
so much.
You're welcome. See how you're a, a champ. You did it no problem. It's super easy.
Wow, that was incredible. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. I'll look forward to seeing you.
Okay.
Take care. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Cathleena, I love watching your hands while you're doing that. It's like you're weaving reality in front of you.
Yeah,
Is that
it
kind
is.
of what you're doing?
Yeah, actually, well, so the way that I work is that I see, and I say see, but it's really more of a fullness, like the sight, the ears, the tastes, all essence of self, the template of like the human, and I refer to as a template, PLET, because there's more than one. And so, I'm able to experience it. And when I was talking about earlier about us as consciousness and how we, as this library of information, download it into the brain. Well, in order for us to create in a physicality, we have to have some kind of a container, so to speak. So if you think about it like the egg and the sperm, where they're both information, because what consciousness does is it exchanges information with other information. And so, the egg is information, the sperm is information, the sperm enters the egg, it exchanges information, and then the exchange ends up on top of each other and creates a physicality because it's a kind of container of the egg. So we have something like that are a template. And so I'm able to see that, and that's what I'm working with. And I'm working with a lot of different geometries, and it's a little harder to comprehend. But if you can imagine that, this physical body, in the essence of who we really are as source consciousness, is really tiny. You can think about this body as, the size of, really a quantum, or like a cell in your body is really what this body is to your consciousness, because your consciousness is much larger, and we are not really in the body. We're the body is within us, and where we are is kind of between the cells and so on. We're more in the empty space aspect of what it is, and we're communicating with this consciousness called this physical body. There's lots of different consciousness that's involved in it. And so, when I'm working with a person, or even now or whatever, say my consciousness is so expanded that it's kind of beyond the dimensionality, and I'm fully embodied as oversoul. So I'm able to kind of experience you in all these different layers and levels. And so when I'm moving and doing things and making sounds and all sorts of things that are going on, it's lots of multi-dimensional faceted things taking place. And it's not unique to me. I just happen to be here, and this is what I'm, why I'm here, and what I'm here to help and bring for the collective. This is who we are as consciousness, and we're just on the tiny precipice of knowing who we are. And this is like somebody like me and many of us, this is what we're here for. We're here to be way showers, to fully embody ourselves as pure source consciousness, to be the representation in physical form. And that's basically what I'm doing and who I am. It's like, so I have this body do all the things that I'm recognizing out here. And so I know that's a lot to bring, but it's it's pretty magical who we really are, and the possibilities of our lives, our health, our well-being, so on. Our natural is not to have any sickness, or to have even death. Really is not meant to be an experience of the original template of this earth experience. So this is what we're doing, is all of us are helping to shift the DNA, which is a geometry aspect. So it's like shifting and changing the geometries for the full ascension, for the full embodiment, and to recalibrate. And there is a recalibration going on. It is something that I'm also kind of participating in, to recalibrate the physicality to its original template, because I carry that. And what part of that is the ability to basically use the body, and to have the body be in a place of its origination, which is, I mean, in one place, able to live 200 years or so and not age. The aging process is actually a program. Everything's a program, really, of what's here. And so I know, again, that's a lot, but it feels like this is what wants to come through in this session, so it's great.
So the package,
Mhm.
is this like helping train us to be more in that 0 point so that we,
Well, what the package is, it's not really about training. What the package is bringing your source self to what you feel is your past aspect of this lifetime and others' lifetimes as well. And again, why that's important is because it is the key to releasing it and shifting it and changing it, because it's basically, in essence, you're bringing the 0 point as your source self to something that you've been stuck in, frozen in, so to speak.
wow, my head is spinning.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of energy too. So this is probably challenging for you to come up with things and stuff, because you're very deep in the energy, because that's what happens when we step in. See, I don't just arbitrarily talk. It's like, because I carry the 0 point, there's shifting and energies going on continually. This is all that's what's continually happening. So yes, you may not have known that, but you're getting shifted and changed too. So your mind is, and you're getting dropped out of your mind into your heart. So your mind's probably going, I have no idea what to ask her.
So if I sit here and go, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah,
blah.
so it's all perfect. It's all great. It's all good. That's because everybody's being dropped out of the mind, so it's all great. So yeah.
Well,
So-
let's open someone else up.
Sure.
Justine, can you unmute yourself, please?
Hi, Cathleena. So good to have you on today.
Hi, Destiny.
I'm noticing that I'll get a clearing, and right after the clearing, it feels like there's either invasion energies coming in, or it feels like it doesn't last long. So I'm wondering, what is causing this? Like, is it some kind of program running? Is it like some kind of AI? What is causing my clearing to not sufficiently stay?
Mhm. Well, I think it is, what you're aligned to, and you're aligned to the fact that it doesn't feel like it's going to stay. And so there's a continual opening your energy. So what I'll do, for you is we're going to close all portals, gateways, pathways, meridians, any wormholes for any siphoning of my energy, past, present, and future, and all space-time continuum. And we're only going to align to the ascension timeline, the one unity consciousness, law of one timeline, and just align that. And then you want to continually repeat that. I'm only aligned this, close all anything. If you don't have to remember all the details, but just say, I close off any siphoning of my energy, past, present, and future, in any space-time continuum. Okay, because this is really,
Right.
and that's what's happening now. So I've shut all that down, cut it off, because you just keep allowing. You're opening because of fear. It's a fear, and so when we have to just continually release the fear, just continually release the fear, and it will allow for that one timeline, and just keep reminding yourself, your source consciousness, we're source. So as source, there is no fear. There is no fear. And the thing is about embodying ourselves as source. Source is basically, the highest frequency. So no other frequency can sustain in that frequency. It can't. It can't. You can only, if you only align, if you make declarations to yourself, I declare all the time that and I say it, my declaration is to the one God, unity consciousness, law of one. My declaration is to embody pure source consciousness, the highest frequencies of pure source consciousness, and no other frequency can be in my space. I expand my energy out, and I allow, and you command it. So this is what I want you to start really doing regularly, okay? Shutting the portals, doing that, and commanding, okay? I'm going to go in a little bit deeper for you just to help, because this may be for anybody else here in that space. But I'm not feeling any of those spaces, but I feel your energy a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of shut off really, and where I want to shut off is much more around your throat and your face. That's really where I'm feeling it, you know. So
Yeah.
it's about your divine voice. It's about you declaring to yourself, to the world, whatever, that I am sovereign, that no energy can enter into my space. That's why it's coming through here. Okay, so I'm gonna just step in. It's also a little bit through your third eye. So if you want to close your eyes, take a deep breath. That's it. Release any and all MK Ultra mind control, holographic inserts, consciousness traps, reversal timeline loops, any and all 5G sonic frequencies, past, present, and future, and all space-time continuum, closing all portals, gateways, meridians, pathways, wormholes to any siphoning of my energy, past, present, and future, and all space-time continuum, only aligning to the ascension timeline, law of one, past, present, future, all space-time continuum. I am that. I am source. I am that. I am that. I am source. I'm gonna open your crown. Plug you completely into source. I'm gonna open your root. Plug you into Sophia Gaia. I'm gonna bring Sophia Gaia around you, a field around you, and I'm gonna integrate and calibrate all elements and aspects of Sophia Gaia, earth, fire, air, water, ether, with all aspects of self, mental, physical, spiritual, etheric. So the oneness, so we have that sense of I am one with this earth. Take a deep breath. I'm going to keep your crown. I'm going to open and bring your consciousness connected into source. Only source, pure source light, pure source, 100%, all space-time continuum, past, present, and future. Take a deep breath. Bring this into the present moment. Allow your energy to be plugged into pure source, only pure source. There is no fear. Release all fear, past, present, and future, and all space-time continuum. Good. Okay.
Ooh. Wow. Thank you for that, Cathleena. Wow.
You're welcome. Great. Okay. So just keep allowing your energy to move into source, because I'm watching you drop it and pull it up, drop it. There's some fear involved. Just keep plugging into pure source. Okay. All right. Thank you, Destiny.
Thank you, Cathleena.
You're welcome.
Blessings.
Blessings to you. Okay.
Cathleena, Sonia asked a question about the package. She's concerned because she has minimal remembrance of her childhood and even closer past years, and wonders if that would impact
No.
her ability to get.
No, because it's not about memory. No, it's about these are all activations. It's going to be energetic. It bypasses all of that. I work on a quantum level of all that. So it really doesn't have necessarily, I mean, it can have to do with memory, because you can have awareness of different things that are going to occur when we go through the different ages, because they are set up in ages. It's like week 1 is ages 0 to 10, week 2 is 11 to 21, 3 is 22 to 40, 4 is 41 to 60, and 5 is all of your life. And even if you haven't met those ages yet, if you're younger than that, it doesn't matter, because remember, time is not linear, it's circular. So it's in a quantum field, And it's just really basically bringing your energy, into this aspect of what we're calling time and age and so on.
So it's not really dealing with childhood memories as much as energy.
Well, it is, but not in that way. It's a quantum way. So it's a way in which we're actually shifting through a quantum field. And so this is very different. So it's not like psychology where we're going to bring up, because we're not really interested in that. What we're interested in is the frequency that took place, and we're going to take that frequency out. Because remember what I said to you earlier about getting in the 0 point, and it's super important. In order to disengage from this quantum entanglement, we have to be in the 0 point. Once we drop into the 0 point, it disengages that, whatever that energy was, and then it has the ability now for that to dissipate. So this is what we're doing. We're creating an environment to disengage that energy and frequency, or basically that emotion that's connected to this thought or this memory, because it's the emotion of it that's important. It's not the memory itself. It's whatever emotion, whatever frequency that you're in, that you're holding. That's how we can literally change the past. We shift that emotion. And if I can bring 0 point to that emotion, it automatically detaches it from you. So now you have a choice to grab it back or figure out what it is.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that. Let's take somebody else. Bing, can you unmute yourself?
Thank you, April, for calling me. Hi, good evening, everyone. And
Hi.
Cathleena, I have a question regarding of the physical diseases. The reason why I'm asking, because I've been hearing the 0 point, and from there, as you said, you're totally neutral and you can access the source energy, which is really exciting. And the reason why I want to be there and to access is because my physical disease, because of my early childhood trauma, my mind or my belief created my manifestation of my physical body, which is uterine prolapse and rectum prolapse, as well as cervical elongation. And it's been almost 40 years. So basically every single day, my cervix is out of the body. And I have already worked on my inner child. I have already worked on the emotional healing. And at this moment, of course, I can just go to the hospital to have a surgery and cut the cervix shorter, so everything will be done. But again, since I'm in the spiritual realm or community, and I believe, going to the 0 point, change or correct the energy, so the cervix can go back to the original blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to hear about you. Is there any way you can help me or help my cervix to return to the size it's supposed to be as a regular woman?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, feeling your energy right away, I could feel, the cavity aspect, because it's like, there's that cervix, that whole area there, of course, is the creator creation center. And it's like, in the physicality, it is the divine 0 point, or the womb of creation aspect, kind of our creator self. And, to be dropping that literally out. And also you're talking about the rectum and all that. It's like that whole lower portion of your body is, you're not engaged in it. As a matter of fact, I feel different aspects of your body. So I would say, have a session, and let's see where we can move. I mean, you're somebody, I can step in and I'll do a little bit of shifting with you, but this is a little bit different, because it's, what I'm feeling is in the idea of the 0 point for you, it's much more about embodying. So what I'll do today is to bring in much more of your soul, your source self. That's what I feel is important that we can do today, that's calling forward. So I'm just going to bring that in to begin to have your consciousness engaging in the full aspect of your body, so that you'll have a little bit better awareness as to what's really happening here, you know, because that is what it feels disengaged, literally. It feels like your consciousness is disengaged. So I'm gonna engage that first and just see how that helps. Okay, so, and this will be good for everybody too, because it's just about bringing more of our consciousness engaging in the physicality. Okay, so again, if you want to close your eyes and take some deep breaths. Oh. Take a really deep breath. Command back into my heart, into my body, 100% of my source life force energy. I command now back into my heart, into my body, 100% of my source life force energy. I command now back into my heart, into my body, 100% of my source life force energy. I'm going to re-engage a frequency of creator creation within the mind. I'm going to open your crown and plug you into source. We're going to bring in some codes, geometry, for re-engaging creator creation principles. This is not of the mind, but I'm just going to calibrate this in your physical mind and through your central channel. Just go take a deep breath. I'm gonna, that's good, keep breathing. And take these creation principles through the body, and we're gonna bring them into the womb center and the rectal and the cavity, the whole cavity actually, in the abdominal cavity. That's good. Take a deep breath. Just opening your root into Sophia Gaia, your crown to source. As above is below is above. I'm just going to reconnect a bit more through the third eye and the throat. going to bring this calibration into the 0 point, into the present moment. Beautiful. Take a couple deep breaths, and you can open your eyes. Tell me how you feel.
At the beginning, I felt vibrations throughout my entire body, and at this moment, I feel lighter and more grounded.
Yeah, beautiful.
And I also recognized during the whole thing you were doing, my mind was really, really busy. And no wonder how my mind was so powerful creating all these conditions. And as you said, everything was disconnected. And I really appreciate, you bring everything back as a whole.
Yeah,
and I would love to hear from you. What's the highest good for me regarding this condition? As you said, I'm sure another session with you will be much beneficial. And any other recommendation, because I'm literally committed to heal my reproductive organ, the womb.
Yeah. Well, I feel like just really aligning, this feels like that this group that's here is all about, it's a lot of just that strong awareness of aligning ourselves to the one timeline, the unity consciousness, pure source light, pure source love, and allowing that by making those statements, by allowing that's allowing for the crown to plug in basically fully into source and your root into Sophia Gaia. So we're in that ascension. That's that connection that's beautiful that's coming through. That's what I was feeling with you. And there, having a session I think is important because there's other things that I can bring to you it's a private. So, about this. And I feel like that's what's being called for, that's, better for your higher self. Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So thank you. Beautiful.
I'm putting the link for the offer back on. It is the course and the one-on-one with Cathleena. So it's incredibly valuable. And I mean, just watching what's going on here now, to have that whole opportunity is pretty amazing. So.
Great. I hear water pouring. There you go. Great.
Are you up for another one?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do that. Eileen, please unmute yourself.
Hi, watching your hands move is amazing. I mean, I'm a conductor. I used to conduct
Oh, I love it.
choruses and bands and stuff. And watching your energy and it, I mean, it wasn't just your hands. There was energy that I could see, I could feel. Oh my God, that's amazing.
That's beautiful.
Okay. When you were talking about, other energies interfering with our energy, I almost feel it on a daily basis because of where I live. And I'm in a high-rise building in the middle of downtown Brooklyn. And, it's laughable sometimes to, say, is this me, or is it something else? And lately, and I'm coming out of a grieving period and I mean, there's so much going on, but I'm feeling it, of course, in my third eye and in my head. I'm getting a lot of migraines. So, what do you suggest?
Well, what I feel is to really have some practices. Well, first of all, I feel like that the interference that you're feeling is definitely the environments around, and what ends up happening is we shrink our light instead of expanding it out. So remember, everything's about matching frequencies. That's all we're doing. And the faster moving frequency always tries to raise the slower one up. So, and no other frequency can sustain itself within pure source light, other than pure source light. So the idea is to think about expanding my energy, because what we tend to do is we tend to pull back and instead. And so the example, when we're talking about like that template aspect of who we are as our consciousness, imagine if that template were a room, and if in the room you have, a candle lit in the room. So it'd be like, 25% of the room is light. That means 75% of the room is dark. And the difference between light and dark is information. And light is information, darkness is an absence of information. In that scenario, if that room were you, it's basically 25% of your light of you is occupying yourself. That means 75% is something else. And what is that something else? It's the collective, it's the beliefs, it's everybody else. And how are we doing that? Because we're shrinking. So in the scenario of the room, all we have to do is make that candle brighter, and it will dissipate, right, all of the darkness, so to speak, and bring light. So that's something you want to really think about, and really breathe and expand your energy and expand your light. Okay, you want to do that. And if we're feeling like so much of our stuff or whatever's around us, you can do practices. I have regular practices that I do, particularly before I go to sleep, because we end up in the astral plane, and there's a lot of stuff that happens. So you can practice the 12D shield. If you're not, are you familiar with the 12D shield? Do you know what that is? Okay. Well, originally, I think I've seen it from Lisa Renee, but basically, and you can look it up, but it's basically that you imagine like a Merkaba, a Star of David in the center of your head, the center of your brain, and it's a platinum star. And you imagine it moving down through all chakra systems, out your root, and connecting into the Earth star. And I always see that as golden, like very bright. And so then you imagine it coming back towards your body, and when it comes back towards your body and stops about 6 inches below your feet, it will start to spin. You can just imagine that. And then it creates this platinum light that starts moving up your legs and up your whole body. And so you become pure platinum light, which is pure source, comes all the way up your body and about a couple of feet above. And then you go back and get that Star of David that's at that platform, and you bring that all the way back up, and it'll create another platform at the top, start to spin, and then it kind of seals you in as pure source light. And so once you do that, you can make a statement, which I do, and I say, I am source, I am sovereign, I am free, and only those energies that match that frequency may enter into my space. I expand my energy out 1,000 feet. I also call forward my higher self, my oversoul, but doing a practice, something like that, on a regular basis, the more that we can feel that we're source consciousness, then we can feel more comfortable expanding our own energy, and all the other energies will dissipate. They have to. And, even those that are around, they'll either match you or go away. But you won't be feeling them, embodying them. So I already feel that in your energy is already starting to pull out. The other thing that I see with you, and this is with many people, the eyes are the windows of the soul. And they really are like master computers. And we take in tons of information, and we can have quick judgments. We can have all kinds of things that are all frequencies that we're absorbing that can create fears and confusion, so on. And I see a lot that you're very, you notice everything. And so, I want to help with that. So I want to take some of that information out. So we'll go in and do that. And that's where a lot of the false light, that's how some of this information gets attached inside. So once I kind of shift this out and you continue to expand your energy, I think you're going to start to feel, a lot different and better. It's a practice, okay, to keep practicing it. Okay?
I have a question for Eileen.
Sure.
She's a conductor. Would using hand motions the way you do help her fix that energy where she wants it to be?
If she had an awareness of moving energy in that way.
Ooh, try it, Eileen, and come back and tell us.
Yeah, it's like, using what I already know in the way that she does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, and I am you are me, we're one. So I am a divine reflection. So you do have the ability I want to step in your energy though, and just kind of pull some of this out of the eyes, because I think that's what's creating pressures, and I think this will be beneficial for everybody here as well. So just close your eyes and take some deep breaths. And I want you to imagine little particles like dirt just kind of floating out of your eyes. These are limits, limitations, judgments, any fear. Yeah, any judgments. I'm just going to keep releasing these out. Take a deep breath. You don't have to know what it is. Just keep allowing a little bit more out of the right eye. That's good. And I'm going to also take this out of the top of your head, the hair. Just allow little particles just floating out, and I'm going to clear through the third eye as well. This is what's creating some pressure. And that's this forgetting that I'm source and that I'm sovereign. Deep breath. I'm going to expand it a little bit more. Great. Deep breath. I'm just going to take a little bit more out of the forehead, head. So again, any limits, limitations, judgments, just little particles, just let them float out like dirt. Yeah, that's good there. Deep breath. I'm going to take out, it's a lot of judgment. There we go. Just kind of bring in that 0 point. Good. All right, how do you feel? Whew. Whew.
I think Eileen has gone over to the other side.
Is Eileen, I don't know if she's still there, or she,
Yeah, I sort of.
yeah.
And the funny thing is, your voice dropped and I wasn't able to hear the words. And then I just heard a voice say, you don't need the words, you just need the energy. And I just let it go.
It's beautiful.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do feel like, something just like went right up, straight up.
Yeah. Beautiful. I love it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Beautiful.
Kathleen, can we talk about the package a bit? Some people are having questions,
Sure.
and let's get those taken care of. And the package, I'm not going to try and share my screen because I know John has trouble with it, and I'm not going to begin to try. But the package includes a 5-week course
Yes.
with you live. Is
Live.
it the same time every date?
Yes.
Okay, so it's 2:00 Pacific, 5:00 Eastern,
Mm-hmm.
every week starting April 27th, and it goes through age groups.
Yes. It goes through, week 1 is 0 through 10. Week 2 is 11 through 21. Week 3 is 22 through 40. Week 4 is 41 through 60. And week 5 is all of your life. And as I said before, if you haven't, come to those ages, or you're, if you're younger than that, it doesn't matter, because time is not linear. So it's in a quantum field.
That's great. And then they also get a private session with you.
Yes.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
So basically what you've just done for the callers, they accept bigger, longer, deeper.
Yes. More personal. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it's 197, which is a great deal for a live course and a one-on-one. So take advantage of it. Do we have a number limit on this? Should I be watching for that?
I don't think so.
Okay, okay, good. That's great. So I'm gonna put the link back in the chat box. So yeah, sign up. Definitely.
I guess if I get so many, I'll have to figure out my Zoom. But you know, hey, that's all good. If it doesn't matter, it's all perfect.
Oh, that's funny.
Yes, there are recordings. Yes, and they will. Yeah, if you can't make it live, it is recorded, and I have a membership site, so they'll all be on the membership site, and they are all done in the 0 point. So anytime you listen, it's basically live anyway. But this is live.
Live.
And they are on Wednesday. Yes, they are on Wednesday.
Somebody commented that they couldn't keep track of the statements that you were making. But guys, this is going to be recorded, and you can come back and listen and write down the statements that you were really impressed with or that really connected with you. But I think the energy of hearing her say it would probably be better even than writing down.
Well, in this whole, remember, I'm in the 0 point, so everything that is even being recorded is in the 0 point tonight. So all of the activations, all of the stuff that we've been doing. So it'll all be new every time you listen to it as well.
Somebody said if you're over 60 years, it's covered in the last week. Is that right?
Yes. Yes, it is.
There's a synergy to that.
Yeah,
Could we take another caller?
sure.
Jasmine, would you unmute yourself? You've been so patient.
Thank you. Can you, I'm okay?
Yes, you're perfect.
Hi, okay.
Hi.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
So I have a question. Are there any current quantum entanglements to any person, place, thing, or energy that's keeping me stuck or out of balance?
Well, that's kind of a general sort of, how are you
Going to be
feeling?
specific. Okay, I'll
are
be
you-
specific.
Okay, sure.
Okay, if you want. If I'm in a relationship, the person, it's like they're in my mind all the time. And most recently I was kind of dating someone and then we stopped, but it's like, I can't think about anything else and it pulls me off of my center. And I have to see this person every 2 weeks because we're in a public speaking forum together. I know he's not for me, yet there's a pull. And I don't want to make my life about this because I feel like there are other things more important, but I don't know what that draw is.
Yeah. Well, that's like an addictive frequency, addictive energy that's actually drawing you. And it's something of, a need. It's something that feels that you're missing internally. And it really, it boils down to self-love, really, which is, of course, the deeper aspect of that. And so when we have, self-love within ourselves, we're not reaching towards something. And so, it's a little bit more involved as to what the actual energy and frequency is that's happening to you. But it's a feeling of, when I'm connecting with this individual, whether I'm thinking about it, whatever, is when I feel, when I feel, period, when I feel safe, feel loved, feel happy, feel whatever. And so it's really all about feeling, with you. That's kind of the piece. If you talk about the sort of quantum entanglement, it's about, you're probably somebody who is very sensitive and has a lot of things, but doesn't quite, know what you're feeling. And it's probably a lot of self-judgment. And if I go deeper, you might start having emotions because I can already feel that it's going to start doing that. And so, and it's okay, you're in a safe environment, but I definitely feel that because that's what's coming forward. And it's really just about a great sense of vulnerability. So what I'll do is help you. I'm going to take out the fight or flight aspect of your energy, and that's going to really help you just start to calm that down a little bit and really remove the judgment. You know, that's a big piece for you, is a lot of judgment, and there's just a lot of it's like this, you know, I'm in this kind of frantic energy all the time, and that's why when I feel someone, I gotta be with them, right? It's that. So I'm going to help you with that right now, and I definitely suggest, you know, come have a session, because I can work with that. It's just you're very light. You have a beautiful light. You have a beautiful big bright light, and you can just really feel that, you know, you're super sensitive. You're super empathic, and you've just really been feeling a whole lot of things, and so you probably get individuals that pull on you, that are
Yes.
like, you know, they're the drug and they're the drug dealer and you're the addict, and it's like, crap, how did this happen, you know? And that's common. So I'm going to help you with this, and this, I'm sure, is going to help with a lot of people, you know, also to hear. Okay, so just close your eyes and take some nice deep breaths. And I'm just going to calm down. Just going to begin to take out that fight or flight. Take a nice deep breath. This course is going to be really great for you, because this is definitely related to some young ages, which is, again, very common. Take a very deep breath. So I'm just working in the solar plexus a little bit, because this is our identification center. And I'm just going to take out any fight or flight, any victim-victimizer frequencies, holographic inserts, consciousness traps, reversal timeline loops, any and all MK Ultra mind control, 5G sonic frequencies. I'm going to reach in your solar plexus, and I'm just going to pull forward a golden light. This is you before you ever came into form. And I'm going to spin this through all timelines, all lifetimes, all this lifetime, and clear out any identification of self. And we're going to bring this forward, and I'm going to drop this into your central and peripheral nervous system, brainstem, brain, as we're taking out all fight or flight. All fight or flight. Take a deep breath. I'm going to bring this to the fingertips, the toes, the entire central and peripheral nervous system, brainstem, brain. It's good. Take a big breath. I'm just going to expand you a little bit. I'm going to bring in a very thick plasmic field of pure source light. The highest frequency is a pure source. It's like a gel. And I'm going to drop you into this. So imagine just kind of sinking in from your back to your front. And we're going to let this pure source gel, it moves inside the body too, and in the quantum level of your cells and your DNA. Just going to bring that in. Take a deep breath, and I'm going to expand you within that. So just imagine letting go into the arms of your divine creator. Good. Very good. Good. Nice deep breath. Great. Okay. How do you feel?
I know, feels good. Thank you. I don't know if you heard the wind. It started going crazy over here.
Yeah.
It just went wild.
Great. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was beautiful. Yeah, just allow. You're going to have a lot of emotions, I think. Just let them happen.
Okay. Thank you. And if I feel that pull, that addictive pull to that situation, do I just come back? Like, how do I, because I can feel people pulling on me too, and I don't want that disrupting my own energy.
Well, the more that you can embody. So what I did is just brought your soul self in. And so it's really going to be just taking breaths, allowing, letting this energy kind of be with you. Let the source energy be with you. Just keep allowing it. And it's about that faith, trust, and surrender. It's really just kind of letting go and letting yourself feel. It's like you've been afraid to feel because you're so empathic. You're feeling so many things. You don't know what you're feeling. Just let yourself feel. That's why the emotions have to happen. You have to let yourself feel. And right now, I put you in a field of pure source. So you're in this kind of plasmic field and just letting that. So just keep imagining that and feeling that. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Think about coming and having a session, because I would, we can work with this. I think that's, help you expand.
Thank you so much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
This is so great. It would be nice to be able to, in fact, I think I'm going to, when I get the recording done, I think I'm going to just watch a little bit of it with you without the sound, just watching your hands create what you were giving to the people who are listening. That's just, yeah, I think that's great.
Beautiful.
Okay. Let's see. Can you take one more person?
Sure.
Okay. Angelina, unmute yourself, dear.
Hello.
Hello.
I was invited to this meeting by a licensed clinical social worker that I've been seeing for a little while. I had a stroke in a mini ischemic stroke in December. And since then, I have had terrible brain fog and fatigue and have tried everything possible to get rid of it, and I haven't been able to. And she suggested coming to the meeting tonight to see if I could get on with you to see if maybe there was something that you could do to help me.
Okay. Well, I'll step in the brain and see. I'm looking at some of the fog, and we can see about shifting some of the energies there. That seems to be a little bit disconnect. So I'm having kind of a conversation, with your higher self, and just thinking, just watching like what sort of is the purpose of this for you. And that would be something that I would say have a private session, because I don't want to get into that necessarily. But I'm looking at some of the things that the sort of the fog disconnect. So I can step in and remove some of the fog that I'm seeing in the brain, but I really feel that like a private session would be better to really speak about more what this is and why it's there and what the purpose, so and so, and that kind of aspect. Okay. So, but let's just see what, there's already some clarity taking place right now because I'm taking that out, but I'll step in a little bit deeper with you and just do some clearing. And again, this is everybody, even though we haven't had stroke or those types of things. What I'm looking at is some of the disconnection in the mind matrix. Some of that is actually not bad and in the way, and there may be part of it, this might have occurred for a very specific reason in your energy that isn't, not that anything's really good or bad, but that maybe something to bring you to a higher conscious awareness in this physicality. So anyway, I want to step in. I think that's the most that I'll speak about in this setting, but I will step in a little bit and just kind of clear this. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so just close your eyes, take some deep breaths. Take a deep breath and open your crown. I'm going to call back all soul fragments, ready and willing to integrate. Do so now. We're going to call forth the highest and most profound miracles and healing miracles take place this now divine moment according to divine law and order and the will of the Oversoul. Ask for all soul fragments ready and willing to integrate. Do so now. Deep breath. Just going to take out all fight or flight and all victim-victimizer frequencies, past, present, and future, and all space-time continuum. Release all false sound. Take out all false sound, past, present, and future, and all space-time continuum. Release all holographic inserts, consciousness traps, reversal timeline loops. Past, present, and future, and all space-time continuum, and all 5G sonic frequencies. Okay. All right, how do you feel?
I definitely had some sensation in the back of my head and on the right side of my head. My stroke was on the left side of my head, but I had most of my sensation on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel much lighter.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
Much lighter.
Yeah, there was a lot. This was going to continue, clearing a little bit for a period of time for you because I feel like things are coming out, more. They're definitely coming out of the voice. I would listen to this again, for you specifically, several times. They're saying at least 3 days in a row, but I would probably do it more, and I would definitely think about having a session. Because we can.
And how do we go about finding out about having the session?
Well, when you sign up, you'll get a link and you can go right to the session. If you get the package, when you get the package, there's a link actually that'll take
Angela, do we have your email? Did you sign up and get the email from us about this call?
I think I did.
Okay.
I did. But because you have to, in order to get, I might have gone through the website and clicked on for tonight's session.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My email is, I'm going to type it in on the chat. Can you see the chat?
Let me see.
You're
Well,
probably
Well,
on your phone, so it's probably harder for her.
yeah, it's really easy. My email is april@beyondtheordinaryshow.com. It's long, but it's kind of easy to remember.
Okay,
If you send me that email, I'll make sure I send you a copy of the recording, okay?
okay. All
All
right,
right.
very good. Thank you so much, Cathleena and April.
Mhm.
You're welcome. Beautiful.
Well, we're about done, boys and girls, and I'm going to put Kathleen's offer again in the chat. Kathleen, I need some clarification. On the sales page, it says the course is on Thursday, but it's got dates for Wednesdays.
Let me make sure. It does say Thursday? Yeah. Did I send that to you? It is on Wednesdays. Yes, it is Wednesday.
Everybody will be very happy about that. I'm updating the page, so it will say Wednesday if you refresh the page.
Yes, it is Wednesday.
Okay, and I'm putting the link in. Cathleena, this has been remarkable, enjoyable, deep and light all at the same time. Thank you for letting me play John.
Sure.
I'm gonna have to come up with a lower cut shirt if I'm gonna do this again, though.
That's funny. Great job. I see somebody ask how long is each class, and they're an hour. They're an hour class.
That's probably a absolutely perfect amount of time, because then you can integrate.
Mhm.
Anyway, thank you so much. Again, you know where to find Kathleen's offer. John will be back. No, he won't be back tomorrow. We're gonna do a replay tomorrow, so you can listen to this one again if you'd like, or the one that comes up. And Cathleena, thank you. This
Thank
was
you.
wonderful.
And thank you, April, for stepping in, and you did a great job. And
Well,
we look forward to seeing John again next time. So thank you.
thanks. You have a good night, everybody.